watching UNO with Dr. Ambrish Saxena.
Hello students, today is Friday 4th of October 2019. Today we will try to unfold a story that has come from the Supreme Court of India. It is about recusal of a judge to hear the case of Gautam Navlakha. Now, to tell more about the case and this whole issue of recusal. In this particular case of Gautam Navlakha only, 5 judges of the Supreme Court have recused themselves during the last 3 days. This case was taken up by the Supreme Court on 30th of September, and this was listed in the court of the Chief Justice of India, Ranjan Gogoi. But what happened? Ranjan Gogoi himself recused himself. So obviously the case could not be taken up that day. The next day, that is 1st of October, the case was listed in another bench. All 3 judges of that bench, that is Justice Reddy, Justice Ramanna and Justice Gavai, they recused themselves. So obviously the case could not be taken up on that day. Next day was a holiday on 2nd of October. Yesterday, 3rd of October, again this case was taken up by a new bench. And there were 3 judges in that bench. And when the case was taken up yesterday, Justice Ravinder Bhatt announced that he is recusing himself from the case. So again the case could not be taken up, and this has happened for the first time in the history of Supreme Court that in just one case 5 judges have recused themselves in a span of 3 days. Now what this whole problem of recusal is about? Recusal is when a judge decides that he will not hear a particular case, or he will not be sitting in a bench which is hearing that particular case, and under what circumstances it can have, and what is the ethics involved in this. Suppose if in the court any lawyer or any concerned party is there who is close to that judge or who is a relative of that judge. Say for instance, if the son, brother, daughter of that judge who is hearing the case is pleading the case in the court, it's sitting in the court, then the judge can recuse himself. Or there might be a case that parties involved in the litigation, they have some connection with the judge. Say for instance, if it is about a company whose share the judge would have bought as an individual. Now that connection established, so judge himself will recuse from the case. Or there might be a case wherein the Supreme Court judge would have given the judgment while he was in the High Court or in the lower court pertaining to that case. So this is completely an ethical or moral thing. But how to handle this kind of issue if repeatedly judges after judges are recusing themselves? There are 2 judges who have written about this, and to make this further understandable to you, I can refer to that in the case of National Judicial Appointment Commission Act. This act was passed by Parliament in the year 2014, and I have told you about this in our edition on 27th of September. And when this case was taken up in the Supreme Court, some judges recused themselves from the case. So on that, Justice Kurian Joseph, who was on the bench, said that the judges have to be transparent on this. Transparency here means that the judges have to tell the reason why they are accusing themselves. The same kind of viewpoint was written by Justice Madan B. Lokur, who said that it's a difficult decision when any judge decides to recuse himself, but then one has to be very clear and open on this, because if one judge is recusing himself, the other judges who are sitting on the bench, it is reflecting on them also. Gautam Navlakha runs an NGO in Delhi which is called People's Union for Democratic Rights. He is a human rights activist, and he has been involved in so many human rights issues. And what this whole background about why he has been arrested? In fact, he has been arrested in a case which is related to incidents in Bhima Koregaon. Bhima Koregaon is a place wherein there was a fight that had broken between the forces of Peshwas and the British forces, and in the British forces there were Mahars who fought relatively a bigger army of Peshwas and defeated it. That was in the year 1818. So, the 200 years of this was marked on 1st of January 2018 at a place which is near Pune, and this was organized by Yalgar Parishad. The upper caste people opposed it, so a violence took place. So, instead of taking action against the people who were involved in the violation, after 3 months or so, the law enforcement agencies filed the FIR in which few human rights activists were booked. Gautam Navlakha is one of them. So, he filed a petition in Bombay High Court that the FIR filed against him should be scrapped because it's an illegally done thing. But Bombay High Court did not provided him any relief. So, now he has made a petition in the Supreme Court on which so many recusals are happening. Now, I will talk about another story which is about National Register of Citizens, NRC. I have already talked about this in the editions of 2nd and 3rd of September, but the latest in this is the statement that has been given by the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina. Sheikh Hasina came Delhi yesterday and she made a statement that on the NRC issue, she already had a talk with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New York, and Prime Minister Modi has assured that this will not be a bone of contention, this will not be a tussle between India and Bangladesh. What does it mean? This means that after the completion of this whole NRC process in Assam, if there are certain infiltrators are identified who had crossed the borders illegally from Bangladesh to India, they had to be sent back to Bangladesh. The Home Minister Amit Shah in a rally held only this Tuesday in Kolkata had said this, that those who had come illegally to India, they will be identified and they will be sent back. Sent back to where? To Bangladesh. So, repeatedly the government of India is taking a stand, whereas now Bangladesh Prime Minister is saying that India has assured that no problem will arise on the issue of NRC. So, lot of doubt is being created on this issue as far as the stand of government of India is concerned and as far as the involvement in the whole issue of Bangladesh is concerned. We have to wait and watch to see as to what will happen on this NRC issue and deportation of the illegal migrants to Bangladesh. That is all in today's edition.